Big news just came in. The iPad Pro might not be the first device to feature the M5 chip. Today we'll break down all the details surrounding this, including the expected release date, price, and everything we currently know about the iPad Pro M5. Let's start with this major leak. It appears that MacBooks will once again be the first to receive the M5 chipset instead of the iPad Pro. A similar situation occurred at the end of 2023 when the MacBook Pros were upgraded with the M3, M3 Pro, and M3 Max chips. Then, in 2024, Apple introduced the M4 chipset, but it took roughly 6 months before the M4 was integrated into MacBook Pro models and other devices. This time, it seems Apple is following the same pattern from 2023. However, it's still highly likely that the iPad Pro will eventually receive the M5 chip. We've seen a jump from the M2 iPad Pro straight to the M4, completely bypassing the M3 generation. As for the design of the current iPad Pro, it seems unlikely that Apple will introduce any significant cosmetic changes. It's important to note that the last major update to the iPad Pro happened in 2024, which was the first major redesign since 2018. Because of this, another update at this point seems highly improbable, meaning the design is expected to remain the same. The iPad Pro will most likely continue with its ultra-thin 5.3mm and 5.1mm thickness options. It will still be available in 11-inch and 13-inch sizes, and the Magic Keyboard released alongside it is expected to remain compatible with the M5 model as well. The most significant change will likely be the inclusion of the M5 chip. However, a notable difference this time is that the base model might come with 16 GB of RAM, which would be a substantial upgrade. The MacBook Air and MacBook Pro models now come with 16 GB of RAM as the standard configuration. This strongly suggests that iPads will soon follow suit. Currently, the iPad Pro is the only iPad model that still offers an 8 GB RAM option, but this is limited to the base storage configurations of 256 GB and 512 GB. If you opt for the higher storage variants of 1 TB or 2 TB, they automatically come with 16 GB of RAM. Additionally, these higher-end models include extra CPU cores and enhancements for the M4 chipset. Given this trend, it's highly likely that 16 GB will become the new minimum RAM for iPads. Furthermore, there's even a possibility that the 1 TB and 2 TB models could support up to 24 GB of RAM. For now, we'll have to wait for official confirmation to see how things unfold. However, one key takeaway is that the release of the new iPad Pro models appears to be facing slight delays, potentially pushing their launch into 2026. Now, let's take a closer look at what we know so far regarding the expected release timeline and pricing details. According to the latest industry expectations, Apple is likely to introduce the new MacBook Pro lineup powered by the M3, M3 Pro, and M3 Max chips sometime toward the end of 2025. Given that schedule, the next significant update to the iPad Pro will likely arrive in the spring of 2026. By that point, the current M4-powered iPad Pro will have been on the market for nearly 2 full years. To be completely honest, even if Apple decides to introduce an M5 chip by then, many people might argue that the M4 is already overkill for the iPad Pro's capabilities. The performance it delivers far exceeds the needs of most users, especially for tablet-based workflows. Because of that, it's logical to assume that Apple doesn't feel pressure to roll out an immediate successor anytime soon. A rushed update wouldn't make much sense given the existing hardware's power and efficiency. Looking at the timeline realistically, the absolute earliest we can expect the next iPad Pro's launch is around a year from now, based on when this discussion is taking place. That's the time frame when we might start hearing more concrete updates about its development and eventual release. When it comes to pricing, there isn't much reason to anticipate any drastic changes. The base model of the 11-inch iPad Pro is expected to retain its current starting price of $999 in the United States, while the 13-inch variant will likely continue at its existing price point as well. Storage configurations are also not expected to see any major modifications, meaning Apple will probably keep the same tiered options it currently offers. Overall, when the next generation iPad Pro eventually arrives, its pricing structure will likely remain unchanged, sticking closely to the pricing strategy Apple has been following for the past few years. One crucial factor to keep in mind regarding the iPad Pro lineup is the potential impact of changing US tariffs. There is a strong possibility that tariff regulations might shift in the near future, which could directly affect the pricing of Apple's products. The big question remains, will Apple absorb these additional costs themselves, or will they pass them on to consumers? Unfortunately, there's no clear answer just yet. Over the course of the next year, as Apple unveils more devices and adjusts to market conditions, we'll gain a much clearer picture of how these changes will unfold. If you want to stay updated on future pricing details, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on notification. On that note, it's time to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to hit the like button. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care and bye.